You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Balls Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 230 of East Centralia's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. Today I'm joined by co-host, you want to be a co-host today?
Co-host is inflated.
Co-host Jesse Riddle.
Hello.
Special featured artistic guest, Mark Fultz.
Not Mark Brim.
Mark.
We can't hear you, buddy. Go ahead and swallow
dude,
that
I'm
microphone.
in it. Like,
I need you to put that thing in your throat.
It's not getting any more in my throat than as it is. I promise you.
We have video and executive producer and audio producer Zach Burcham, sometimes normally co-host, but he wanted to be out of camera today.
Video editor, you said?
Video executive producer.
Well,
we can give him all kinds of titles.
I don't know.
Well, he's also our bar wench. If we need a drink, the guy that's never had a beer is responsible for getting us drinks.
If we could put him in a skirt and make him get drinks for us, I'd pay him.
And we have Betsy Mills, our patron, our friend, and recently announced candidate for State Representative District 54. The county council meeting just finished up, so Betsy's going to hang out with us for at least a little while, and we're going to talk about her big announcement last night in the Hoosier Gym, and she's going to tell me what I heard is correct, or if I'm dancing around the interpretation of the way the night went. I'll let the audience make their own mind up as to how it went down. So that's the show we got lined up. It is a show about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you, other times we'll make you laugh, but hopefully you'll always learn something new. We spent a good 15 to 20 minutes doing a very embarrassing Patreon. If you turn red and are
I don't think you can say that anymore either.
Squirmish, I think your face gets you get flush. If you get embarrassed, and we talked about some very embarrassing things for the prudes.
I must have been asleep
out there.
Somebody go join our Patreon and figure out if
see what we were talking about. But it was fun.
Segue.
It was exciting content, I think. And then it turned into
give you a ton of entertainment.
And then it turned into some football talk too, because Mark got really nervous. And he said, "How about them Colts?"
I fell asleep. I did fall asleep. I forgot.
You unplugged your headset at one point. You were so offended by all of it. You ripped it out so you couldn't hear anything, and you sat in the corner and pouted. I remember the way it went well.
And Daddy Jeremiah fixed it for me.
I'm here to help.
Big Daddy Jer.
I hate
Big Daddy Jer.
Betsy's going to be in the State House,
Jer
and you're embarrassing all of us, Jesse.
I was going to say, it's risky coming on the show when I want. I'm just going to say that.
I'm kind of used to it at this point. Like, you just never quite know what's going to go on.
We're trying to get those,
it's full Parks and Recreation, but unfortunately, you came on Crazy Ira and the douche night. So it's
all good.
It's
the douche.
No, but
we're just trying to pull some of those undecided voters. That's why she's.
I'm the one who crashed your party. I'm the one who said, "Hey, I got out of council early. What's going on?" So.
Did you raise my taxes tonight?
No.
Oh, thank God. All right. You never
I love
know.
it when you guys raise my taxes.
All right.
Yeah, not going to happen.
I
hope.
I'm going to be forever sad.
I would do just about anything.
I've had my heart broken before.
I would do just about anything to prevent that. So, but also I would acknowledge that the state has these billions of dollars in excess funds and they bleed us dry, and it's really unfortunate. So local government, I mean, the way Indiana's tax structure works, they put all the pressure on us to raise taxes. So at the state level, they can say, "Oh, we're such fiscal conservatives." I mean, it's just it's trash.
When we each ran for when we each ran for state, what the hell did we?
County Council.
2018 County Council. I was saying that the state puts the gun in your hand and makes the county pull the trigger.
Absolutely, every time.
That sucks.
What kind of gun
the way
is
it's designed. I think it's a revolver. It's because you got the whole. You hear it crack, and then you get the protesters, and then the whole. I think that's the way it works out.
Nice.
I will say this: your Henry County Council, there are 7 fiscal conservatives who are desperate to never raise taxes. So I don't want to speak for my colleagues, but I sense this about them very strongly based on the years of budget sessions we've had together. So
man, but I remember a lot of times they've done it. Anyway,
well, they always be
I wasn't there yet.
It's for EMTs and all. They do it through other means.
Anyway, we have to say thank you to Christy Avery, John Phillips of Andy Moore Buick GMC, Anthony Meyer keeping the country fed. He's got a lot of stuff to pull out of the ports to get this country back online. And Fiddler's Green Cigar Company, Chris Lamb for the support of the Patreon. If you jump on the Facebook page, there's a link to the T-Champ store if you're watching live, or you can jump on BossHoggerLiberty.com for all the merch that's out there. So I ventured out to a beautiful Knightstown, Indiana, Jesse Riddle's hometown. The last time I went for a political rally, Jesse went with me and he stood me up. I tried. I gave him plenty of notice, and he said, "No, I'm going to be at Chillywater with the big city folks."
30-minute notice on a day that I always have something planned.
I asked you weeks before.
It was yesterday.
Days. That was the secondary ask. I had already sent it days before.
Either way,
denial.
I did go with you one night to a political rally.
We went
there,
to the Ted Cruz basketball ring.
It was funny when you
ring.
said I thought that was Ted Cruz.
I have to tell you something. So Mom and I went on a walkthrough last week at the gym. My mom did all of the decor, all of the food. She's very particular. She could be a caterer. She's very, very good at throwing parties, and she's been doing
She's
this.
a mechanic, right?
No, she's a librarian, but she throws a lot of parties at the Middletown Public Library. Yeah. My dad was a mechanic. My mom is a pretty traditional person, but cool. She's a trailblazer. She's one of the first managing editors of a newspaper in this country, like way back. She's had this incredible career. Anyway,
awesome.
And the newspaper did oil changes. It was amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah, the Muncie Evening Press. They did amazing work before they consolidated. Anyway, Knightstown last week, we're doing a walkthrough. The Indy Star is there doing a story because they're this past weekend at the Hoosier Gym on Saturday.
They recut the movie.
Yeah,
Hoosiers.
they recut Hoosiers, and they added in a bunch of like storyline, I guess, about Coach like having a girlfriend, and it sort of changed like the tenor of the movie. Anyway, they're talking about that. They're gearing up for this story. The reporter's there, photographer. I was there for probably 45 minutes. Ted Cruz was talked about more than anything. And what a disgusting person. It's like, because of the basketball ring, for no other reason other than he said basketball ring, and he was never allowed to come back into the state of Indiana or the Hoosier Gym. Like, it was deeply offensive to the parties present.
That gym is
hilarious.
literally, it's kind of funny because like you're in the gym, which has already got its own weird history, and everyone's like, yeah, Gene Hackman was here. And you're like, well, cool.
Dennis Hopper. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, all right, it's been like 60 years. Nothing else has happened here except political rallies where people don't even know the name of a basketball hoop. So,
there's been a lot of cool community events there.
Yeah.
Holcomb had a heck of a kickoff 2 years ago.
My brother graduated from high
Holcomb
school in
was
there.
for the.
Did he go to school there?
What did Holcomb
we
have?
rented it for the homeschool high school
That's
graduation.
It was so
hilarious.
hard to find a date to book it because they're full of teams who want to come in.
Oh yeah,
and
they're
play. It's
busy.
awesome.
I'm not trying to say it's a massive. Like, I didn't understand how massive of an attraction that thing is.
Yeah.
Someone said it either brings in like I think they said 70,000, but I feel like it's more than that. But anyways, because I want to do Airbnb in Knightstown, and they're like, "Why would you do that?" I'm like, "Because there's nowhere to rent anything." Have you ever walked through Newcastle or driven through it? No. And Greenfield's the closest place, but it's like if you could stay here, like that's gonna. I'm sure to get like if it's a nice place to get some
Right.
clientele,
Yeah.
but.
I would spend $700 a night to stay.
It's
a
funny,
block away.
but at the Hoosier Gym, I've been there like
You want to
3
go 10 minutes
times
away? You can rent a room in our place. That's fine.
$22 a night to stay in Shirley.
in the basement.
Just give me a 20. Call it even.
Well, there's going to be county taxes. You know there will be.
He lives in Hancock County.
We're gonna hook it up.
That's true.
He lives in Hancock County.
I'll call my friends.
Hook it
Just
up.
kidding. Just kidding. No new taxes. Just kidding.
But anyways, I was just saying it has a lot of draw. It's like actually, I think we got a survey recently. Henry County asked us like what was like the biggest attractions, or Knightstown, maybe it was the town of Knightstown did, and I refused to talk about the Hoosier Gym.
Because you didn't want to acknowledge the elephant in the proverbial room.
Well, it's just like like we already know that. Quit milking it, and like think about other things.
You show
can
off
do.
your assets, Jesse. Like when you show off that
I show off
luxurious
my
beard you've
assets
got
all the time,
Yeah.
It really.
especially online.
I mean, and if you look at our county and you look at our county rebranding with, basketball lives here, that's what our EDC and our travel and tourism is going towards after a lot of surveying in the past year and a half. I mean, the gym is a huge part of that draw. We have the field house. We have the Hall of Fame. We're working on something interesting in Middletown I'm not prepared to talk about, but a basketball draw that would be maybe record setting. Anyway,
What is a basketball draw?
a draw that like a tourist draw that involves basketball.
okay.
It's
Gotcha.
early stages, but it could be very, very big, metaphorically and accurately.
Probably bigger than the big tennis shoe out on 3.
Yes. Anyway, I can't talk about that. It's on my project, but we're kicking around some ideas. Anyway, no, but like, I think we kind of take for granted sometimes.
I think it's a monorail. Personally, I think Middletown's getting a monorail.
No, we're not doing the monorail. Anyway, early stages, but it is cool that we have this local. I think we sometimes take it for granted because it's
we definitely do. I've never been to the Hall of Fame, and I've been to the Hoosier Gym like 3 times in my life, and once was to like go talk to somebody real fast. It's completely not a thing. I'm also not a sports person, so it's completely the wrong thing for me, which is why I refuse to say it's an asset to the county.
You know, it's really normal.
despite statistics and all the numbers and money it brings in, it's pretty funny.
It's really normal to talk to people from towns who never go to the tourist areas
in their own town,
right?
Yeah.
Like, I bet you go to Indianapolis and like, you've ever been to the Speedway? And they're like, what? And it's like, and that's really common because you go to somebody like, show me where to go in town, and they're like, I don't know, I just live here, and they don't go to any of the tourists.
They go, I know where the Kroger is, I know where the McDonald's is, and then I know where. That's all they do.
I see the Hoosier Gym on the sign on the interstate every time I drive by, and there's a garden or something at that exit too. I don't know where
there's
that is.
there's a Vietnam like memorial.
Yeah.
I just feel like I know there's nothing happening there. Like,
No, it's
so
busy
there's
all the time.
It's a busy place.
It's busy all the time.
Like the gym?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's busy all the time.
Doing what? Just playing basketball?
Teams come into
Tourists.
play.
Yeah.
Tourists stop in. I mean, it
There's
really is
tons
a
of
draw.
So is there like people like working there that like allow?
Yeah, they have an
people-
amazing
Ryan's-
staff.
Ryan's mom lives there, works there.
Okay.
You can't. When you have a building that is in a movie that will never be forgotten.
But again, it's the
It's like
problem
one-
is
I
like
mean,
you,
don't get me wrong. I know it's there. I know about it.
the problem
but like
is
I'm
me
not
and
like
you don't understand the scale of Hoosiers, like because
Yeah.
we hate the movie.
I've never even
It's so
seen
boring.
it. I'm fully aware of it.
Well, you haven't seen it recut to explain why the player left the team.
Apparently, it makes way more
It
sense
does.
now.
It's like all the context. It like fills all the plot holes.
Which it always made sense to me. I was like, yeah, it just sucks. That's
I'm just like, it's about basketball. I don't know.
Can we please talk to Betsy instead of talking about Hoosiers?
Oh, sorry.
40 years ago?
Yeah, we probably should talk.
Well, you
about
brought it
Hoosiers.
up. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm leaving this podcast.
all right, so the Hoosier Gym's pretty cool.
It is an iconic venue,
Absolutely.
for Henry County and all of District 54.
That's right. And I chose it because, we kicked around a lot of different venues. We talked about, like, I'm from, the Middletown area. Is there anything in Middletown we would want to do? We looked at options, and I thought, let's do something centrally located for the district, which is 99% of Henry County, except for the far northeast corner, almost all of Rush County, except for the far southeast corner, and then one township in Hancock and in Shelby. And so Knightstown is sort of a really good, central location if we're looking at, who's driving in and where. Yeah. Also, it's just really a kick-ass venue. It's just such a cool place. It's magical.
Yeah. It's very clean. It's a very well-organized organization.
They were amazing to work with.
Yeah. I'm sure you worked with my friend Ryan's mom. That I won't say.
I didn't meet any women there, but yeah.
Oh.
I didn't meet anyone named
It was mostly
Ryan's
Bob,
mom.
and Bob is the man. He's so great.
Bob's become like a local legend
He's
himself.
awesome.
He's in everything. Every time there's a story, every time there's a picture from the gym, Bob's in the picture. I've never met Bob, but I saw him on the other side of the gym when I was walking in the other night.
I called him like 5 different times with stupid questions. Can we have votive candles? Like mostly from my mom, like for decor. And he was just, every time he answered immediately, he was awesome. He signed for a package we had to have shipped in for my photo backdrop. It came in at 3:30 on the day of the event.
It was very impressive.
And
I did not stop and get a photo with it, but I get a feeling there'll probably be more events.
There will. Anyway, he was awesome. So if you want to have an event in Henry County and at an iconic venue, I highly, highly recommend the Hoosier Gym, and it's also very reasonably priced.
So I did go. I was wearing my media hat of sorts, although I did have the snacks. It was a very well done event.
Thank you.
You had a number of different speakers. Stacy Guffey was there. I was at the table with Stacy, and I think you and Stacy met here.
We
for the
did.
very
We
first time
literally
on the
met
show.
here. I came here with Steve Thompson, my best friend and campaign manager. He sat back here. I was sitting over here. Stacy was here. First time I'd always known of Stacy Guffey.
Right.
Everybody knows Stacy Guffey in the county. Also, everybody knows Stacy Guffey everywhere. He's a legend and just like the best dude in the world. But I met him and we just really bonded. Like, I just thought, wow, anyway, I love Stacy and it's been a pleasure to work with him on council as his liaison.
So Stacy is the county coroner. He was elected. He was on this show and was interviewing for the job of coroner. He's now our county coroner again.
He's great.
And he's the treasurer for your campaign.
He is. I'm honored to have him on the team.
So he spoke at the rally or the kickoff event.
Yeah.
The big shindig. And then Steve Thompson, your campaign manager, spoke.
That's right.
And then, to me, the surprise of the night was the Republican chairman, Todd Hyde, was there.
And he was a last-minute fill-in. One of my Lugar series sisters, Allie Bartlett, who last week made history by becoming the first or the youngest partner in Bo's public affairs history. She's an outstanding attorney and an even better person. She was tied up all day in a hearing for Gaming Commission. It was about a casino in Terre Haute. This is part of her field. She was supposed to be done by 4. It didn't get out until I think 7 or she was tied up. She was horrified. So she was supposed to come speak about my work at the state level and my connections in Indianapolis and all that. And she couldn't make it. And so Todd stepped in very last second just to say nice things.
Todd stepped in. He was very excited. And I wrote in the show notes that he endorsed her candidacy. I'm told that maybe he didn't officially endorse the candidacy. However, what I heard in my notes that I took at the event was that Chairman Hyde, the Republican chairman of Henry County, said that it was time for the millennials to take over, and I almost stood up and applauded. And then he said that the boomers are done, which I was like, if Chris Bangle was here, the guy that leads our network, he would immediately become a Republican and hug Todd. And then he said it's time for people that don't look like me, that are over 50, mid-50s, and white guys to take over. And as I look at the field of people that are in the race so far, that are on the Republican side, I kind of think he might have been talking about you. I don't know if you realize that, Betsy, but it was at your event that he's saying all this stuff. It sounded like he was pretty supportive.
Todd's a good friend, and you have to remember he's the chair and I'm the vice chair, and we've worked together for a few years, and he is such a good leader. And it is an impossible job to be a party chairman. You have no idea how much drama it can be. It doesn't pay.
Oh, I do.
Okay, you do. Oh, you do.
The only person who does it may be Zach Amell.
It's a thankless.
No.
Jesse's run for state chairman before of a political
It's-
party.
And I've been the chair of the local party.
We know the drama.
Yeah, so it's a thankless, tough job, and you have to make tough calls. And he consistently does things the right way for the right reasons, and it's been a pleasure to serve with him. So he was really speaking to having worked with me in our local party and my efforts. And yes, and something great about Todd.
Although it kind of felt like he was saying you'd be great for the job.
Well, I think, that's true. He also, because he's not officially endorsing, but like it was something about Todd, and it's not just me. He really is so good at encouraging younger people, younger Republicans to get involved, like Steve too.
So
women,
if the
people with
Republican
diverse
county
backgrounds.
chairperson wanted to endorse you, would be like, I don't want any endorsements from
I'd be
county
honored to
chairs.
have it, but I don't expect it before the primary. So,
Or the Shelby County, the
I'd be
Hancock
honored
County.
to have any of them, but I don't
Yeah.
expect it. And I expect this is something that I have to earn, and I am excited to earn it. The primaries are tough. I get it. Like we have sheriff's candidates, at 4 in our race in the county, and as vice chair, I think my job is to help each of them as they come to me and ask for information. I'll give you all the same information. I think you're all great. I can't get involved.
They have races to run.
Right. And so I get the same principle. It's the same. I totally get it. So I just try to play it honestly. But I appreciate Todd's friendship, and he's been a great mentor and friend to me.
So other than that big breaking news that I saw that you slightly disagree with, what do you think are the big issues for the county? You did this really cool feedback thing with all of the audience members, where there were prizes and you had people give you advice. You had people tell you what the issues were. What kind of things did you hear from the audience members last night, and how does it interact with what you thought you were seeing?
Absolutely. We went through all of those last night. I heard the answers to every single question. It seems like the roads to get to Knightstown were of concern. And I think a lot of that was friends from Middletown driving the back roads being like, what is going on here? They're not too bad, honestly. But roads in the county are always an issue. I think we've done really good work lately. I just commended Joe Copeland at the council meeting about the good work around Middletown that's needed to happen for years. I think he's running a really tight ship and a good department. But yeah, roads, obviously we can do better. I think economic development is an issue. Staffing and hiring right now. Inflation is a huge issue for Hoosier families. I know that we don't have a lot of say at the state level or the county level, but these are concerns people have, and they're real, and they impact us. And we're not a rich district. We're not a young district. We're older. It's lower socioeconomically. I think there's a lot of concern for how we support agriculture and manufacturing. for me personally, and I think this is trickling down to my friends and people I have relationships with, but developing the interstate corridor. And that's more true for us than Rush County. But, having I-70 run through our county and knowing that Indianapolis is growing our way, that Greenfield, look at the development there in the past decade. It's coming. Let's get ready. Also, I-69, where Middletown is, it just runs outside the county, but we're so close to that. And there's the development on I-69 in my lifetime has been outrageous. So
in your
it's a
district,
smattering.
you have or nearly have 3 interstates. I-69
Absolutely.
runs through Shelby County. Henry County misses I-69 by mere inches.
Yes.
And I-70 cuts through the heart of Hancock and Henry counties.
Right.
And
So
you have 40 for whenever they're doing construction and all that other stuff.
and
40
both
and
times,
State Route 3.
both times I passed, going to Knightstown and coming back, and this was true last week. It was the interstate westbound towards Indianapolis was dead stop.
Yeah. Well, westbound
horrible.
towards Indianapolis, you can't even do from Nicetown. So you can't right now.
Is that still not open?
It's not open.
I know the barrels are out for most of it, but I wasn't sure if that.
I did not pay attention tonight. Yesterday it was not open.
Nicetown, you could not get on at Nicetown.
Yeah, the signage as I was pulling into Knightstown for Betsy's event last night was still up saying you can't re-enter 70.
I
from
believe
109.
today they pulled up the last of the barricades.
Yeah.
They were finishing that up this morning, but they still had westbound traffic down to 1 lane.
And that has been your traffic alert from Song of Liberty.
One other issue that I'm pretty passionate about, I just talked about at our council meeting, and I had a meeting earlier today with Councilman Aaron Dickin with the EIRPC, which is the East Indiana Central East
Regional
Planning.
Partnership.
Yes. Anyway, a gentleman from Wayne County came over, and rural broadband is such a huge issue for us, and we really, in Henry and Rush County and in the district, it's a huge, huge issue right now. I mean, we're not post-COVID, but with the impact of COVID, with kids at home learning, local businesses, small businesses, farmers, you name it, everybody's using the internet more to survive. And we don't have good rural broadband. I personally don't. I have terrible internet at my house.
What do you suggest people do for that?
I think, at a county level, we can't pay for that to happen. I think it's private partnerships. I think it's taking advantage. The stimulus bill, I'm not going to comment on the federal one, but I do know that there's a lot of money allocated to broadband. We should absolutely take advantage. The state has set aside hundreds of millions of dollars for broadband. We need to take advantage.
And I think the way that they're going to be set up is they're going to be competitive grants. So
Right.
the communities have to bid on them, essentially. You find partners and you find folks like Metronet or 9-Star or New Lisbon Broadband Company.
The reason I ask is because I'm not saying it's not a problem. It's a very small problem to me. Not to me, but in general, statistically, it's a very small problem. But
it's that last mile
affect. But
for
I'm
a
saying
certain-
it is a last mile problem. But you can get mobile, and there are line of sight providers. So that remedies a lot of problems. I'm just when you talk to voters, what I guess I'm trying to ask is, what parts of the county are having this problem?
It's all over. It's where 9-Star, New Lisbon aren't. And so for me, I run 3/4 of a mile east of where 9-Star ends. I have called them multiple times over the years and said, give me a number and let me write you a check. I want that line. I work remotely. I can hardly Zoom with my boss at Penn State because the internet's so crappy.
So in Henry County, you're saying Fall Creek Township has a problem.
No, I'm Jefferson, but yeah.
Jefferson.
it's
Jefferson
just
Township has a problem. I know Blue River Township has issues. Stony Creek Township. Liberty has its issues, I'm sure. So if you look around the map and
yeah, I haven't recently seen a map of where our spotty areas are, but I can only speak for myself. But I hear it a lot from constituents.
But you have 4G, right?
I do.
Yeah,
I do, and I use it religiously.
right. So which is broadband. So that's
but it's not fiber, and it's not enough to run video. It's not enough
it's faster than what it's. So from a technical perspective, it's faster than what you're going to get from any DSL provider.
Yeah, I don't want DSL.
And they're not going to give you. They're never going to give you fiber.
I'm 3/4 of a mile from fiber.
I live in a town with these people, and they don't run fiber.
Right, but you have cable available, right?
I do, but I want fiber.
Right.
And so I pay $130, $120 for the gigabit or whatever the fastest thing Comcast offers in my county or in my area. But 4G is faster than most of that. So from a technical perspective, like when we think about it, I'm like, why don't we just get more towers and cover it?
I have a tower very close to my house. Trust me, I use it all the time.
Yeah,
It's
I was
also
gonna
a
say,
matter
it doesn't work.
of a metered versus an unmetered connection as well.
No, I know. No,
Yes.
that's.
I run into
I'm
data
thinking
caps all the
about
time.
when you're using these things. If you're going to try to get, it's like you could get almost immediate benefit overnight just by trying to work some sort of deal with unmetering. I'm trying to think about the problem versus like running copper and running fiber is very expensive. It's not expensive to put like erect one more tower or a couple more towers and get 5G or something else to cover the area. Plus, in Rushville, they use a lot of line of sight towers.
Yeah,
But
Brush
anyways,
County does.
I'm not trying to solve the problem tonight. I just was like, I have this conversation many times with my friends in Indianapolis.
I think it's become recognized as an economic problem.
Absolutely.
It more than just the, hey, I can't watch my Netflix. It's an educational and an economic issue.
And it's small business. I mean, it impacts local economy. The return on investment for broadband, I've seen studies that says it's there. It's just very expensive ahead of time to install. It is very expensive.
So the question I asked last night was about land use and how we're all going to find a way to get along.
Oh gosh.
Because I saw, Rush County made a big announcement that they have a dog food factory.
Yeah, that's great news.
North side of town. It's a 120 acre site. It's going to be a very significant investment for Rush County. Going to be great for their property tax rolls. But immediately you get the not in my backyard folks that say, well, I don't want a dog food factory. They're tearing up farm ground and it's going to smell. And I don't even like pets. That's what we're going to talk about later on is people abusing service animals and the exemptions. And now we got to feed the things here too. Every time somebody builds something, we have this I don't want it attitude.
Is that actually happening? Are people complaining?
Oh, I've seen. Yeah, it's the Facebook response to John McCain, the economic development guy for Rush County. He posted this, and you see the responses of people just aren't happy. How do we work on that?
Well, as someone who has very publicly said I believe in local decision making, home rule, that kind of thing, I think that's important. I think when we consider these projects and citing major projects, we have to consider neighbors to a certain degree. Are they being respected? Is their land value being destroyed? Their quality of life. I think all of that's really vital. There's got to be a balance, and so. I don't know where that is. Everything I know about this project, and it's not a lot other than the press release and a few news articles, it seems great. It seems like a great thing for Rush County and new jobs and more money in the county's coffers. To me, it seems largely positive, but have I looked at who is impacted by this, like who's neighboring the project? I haven't. So am I worried about 120 acres of farm ground going away? No, 120 acres, that's okay.
Yeah. That's the way things grow. Your yield's better than it was 10 years ago on farm ground anyway, right?
Right.
Way it goes. All right. So you heard about rural broadband. You heard about land use. You heard some conversations about the roads. Got to fix the roads.
Yep. Economic development, opportunity, education. I mean, I think there's a lot going on with education right now, with masking. With people are very worried about students. This didn't come from last night, but mandate of vaccines. Like it's just there's a lot of really hot topics out there, and so I'm just trying to learn and educate myself.
We gotta hope, right? Like the conversations you're having today about masks are going to be a short-term conversation. The last time we elected a state representative, I was in high school. You were probably in high school or middle school. This is a generational decision potentially for the community to decide who our state rep's going to be. Tom Saunders has served since I think 1998.
I think it was 96.
Or 96. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
very long time. Heck, I may have been in middle school. Boy, I feel old.
In 96?
Yeah. I would have been high school 97 to 01.
I was middle school in 98.
Yeah.
Dang.
You're young.
Zach and I are the same age. He's
I guess
the
I'm a
class of
little younger than you.
2001-ish with me.
Yeah, I would have been like an 8th grader.
Yeah. So
Zach's the old man in the crowd.
It's an open seat. It's exciting, and I thank Tom for his service. I think he has always really fought hard for Henry County and the district, and sometimes that's cost him with the party in Indianapolis and the caucus. But he's always put us first. So I have a lot of respect for that.
So if folks want to learn more about the campaign, get in touch. You haven't asked for money yet, so I'm going to criticize you for that. As a guy that's been involved in a lot of political campaigns, nobody's told you how to invest in your campaign yet. How do we do it, Betsy?
Oh, I will. First of all, my website's coming. It'll be I can't say my own name. Good Lord. It's Betsy for Indiana. It's not up yet. And remember, we're 6 months out from the primary. Like I haven't even filed officially. This is all preliminary. I have a Facebook Facebook.com/Betsy for Indiana. That's, you can catch a lot of information there. I'm very accessible on Facebook. I'm very accessible online. I have a WinRed, which is a conservative fundraising platform, and that's where you can donate money. Please give me money. That'd be great. We're off to a really good start fundraising. We had a really good, last night was not a fundraising night. It was a kickoff event. We've still brought in a good amount of money. So I'm really excited. And we have fundraisers in the works. I have a Luger series fundraiser coming up in a few weeks that I think is going to be great. We have some really, really interesting fundraisers planned. So we're thinking very, very big here.
All right. Very good. Well, you are welcome. This is totally unplanned. You literally wrapped up your council business early and said, "Hey, can I come pop in?" I said, "Sure, absolutely."
I thought I'd be sitting out there. I wasn't planning to be on the mic. I just thought I'd sit in studio.
You're welcome with us as long as you want to hang out. Christy Avery's watching the chat, and she says she's already donated.
She did. Christy, thank you so much. You're so good. Love Christy.
So you're welcome to hang out for the rest of the thing. I guess I'll ask you about council. What happened tonight at the council meeting? Anything of note?
Tons of transferring money. I don't really understand what this means, but the GIS coordinator in the surveyor's office has asked for money for a new plotter, and it would benefit the whole county. I guess ours is 20 years old and obsolete.
A plotter prints.
Yes,
it's a big old printer.
Yes.
Mark's getting pointed at for knowing. I used to use plotters back in the day.
And so she made a pretty compelling case about why we needed it and who it didn't, not just their office, but how it impacts nearly every county government office. And and also the community that can take advantage. And it just seemed like a really obvious transfer of funds. We heard insurance updates. I mentioned our meeting with the EIRPC gentleman today when Aaron and I met with him, and just the importance of really thinking about broadband, and maybe we need to form a task force like other counties have to see what we can do, especially when there's all this money coming in from the state, from the federal government. We really should be thinking about that. There were many other updates as well, but those are the ones that are striking.
I'm taking a picture of us.
I just got to selfie
just to have it in case she walks out on me before we finish the show.
Oh gosh,
Mark, where'd your boy Jesse go? Did he leave in anger?
He went to poop. I don't know.
He's disappeared.
Find out in just a second.
Zach, you got any questions for Betsy? Anything?
No.
Anything burning? You want? I mean, I feel like this is your chance to lobby for more campsites out at Summit Lake.
Oh yeah, please get on that.
I want. Okay, so I don't have a camper, but I would really like more opportunity to rent something at Summit Lake.
They had a little cabin and they took them out.
There was one cabin and it's gone.
Yeah, so I would really like that opportunity. So I will lobby them for that.
So I've talked to Representative Saunders, and he was like, "We need an inn out there.
That'd be awesome.
Inns bring in a tremendous amount of tourists that come in and stay.
Could that be
in
on
the
state
park.
grounds?
Yeah, Brown County has an inn. Lincoln's, I don't know if Lincoln does.
Why do we not have that already?
does.
Oh yeah, Brown County has tons of places to stay.
But there are about 6 inns
Spring
on State
Mill,
Park. Spring Mill has one.
We're blowing
Clifton
it.
Falls down in Madison has one.
I was gonna say so this is when I was talking about what I refuse to talk about the Hoosier Gym is because it's like the godsend of the county, at least in my parts. And I was like, there is so much more to do outdoors.
Oh yeah,
And to exploit, to bring people in. Like we have I don't want to say it's a huge river, but we have a big river, and we have
our trailhead system.
Our trailhead system's getting developed,
yeah.
and we need to get more people. We need to get more people to explore it, so that more money comes into it, and all that jazz. But that's why I said I was like, I'm tired of just milking the Hoosier Gym. I want to we need it. There's a clientele for that, right? And those clienteles sometimes will overlap with the trail, the people who are outdoorsy, but not all the time. And the outdoorsy people. I said on the show previously, it's like a lot of them have money and they want to spend it. Oh, let's take it.
Right.
Let's build the infrastructures and things that we need to do it.
Potato Creek State Park has been
Potato Creek
up near South Bend has been in the works to get it in since Mike Pence was governor. In 2015, he made a big announcement it was going to happen, and then the money went away. But the price tag for their inn is $55 million.
So where does that come from? DNR? Does that come from the state?
The governor was going to get $24 million for it from a cell phone tower leasing plan. He sold off some rights, and then it went away. And now their big plan is maybe to borrow some COVID funds because it's flush money.
This inn, first off, why is it $55 million?
It does seem rather expensive.
I don't know. I
how
don't
much
know
did
what kind of a Cadillac plan it was because I feel like that's got to be fancy.
Yeah, I'm just can we just
huge.
get some cabins that have some heating and air, or just air maybe?
There are some
People do
incredible
that in
cabins as
winter.
well.
Like if you just started a cabin system or something, like I think there is a cabin potentially for rent in Carthage area.
Paul Fabric says that at their last TAC meeting, the issue of cabins was brought up for Summit Lake. The cost was too great to build the infrastructure for cabins at this time, unfortunately.
That's too bad.
So yeah, it's all a matter of what kind of investment's available. I will say that DNR properties across the state have been continuing to receive upgrades, but as somebody that spent about 40 nights this year in DNR properties and about 40 last year, the occupancy is incredibly high. And Summit Lake is one of the most popular campgrounds in the state of Indiana.
Awesome. And back to your overarching point, like I get that not everybody's into basketball, and it's a way to brand us, but it's not the only attribute we have. We have two great wineries. Exactly. We have the Trailhead. We have these parks. We have Westwood. We have a lot. We have a great history. We have Wilbur Wright. We have Robert, Indiana. Like we have really cool stuff to offer. So it's not just basketball. I mean, I think basketball is definitely worth mentioning, and it's a draw. But we are also promoting the other things. So
I think you just need to diversify.
Absolutely, and I see that happening. Yeah. I see it happening with our branding. I think they're actually doing a really, really good job. So I saw a pamphlet tonight that was like restaurants in the county you should eat at, and it was an awesome list of like, everything from Primo to Iron Kettle in Sulphur Springs, which is one of my favorite restaurants, like just Montgomery's, like you name it, like the local owned, community members who actually give back and participate. It was a great list. And so I'm excited to see our county branding continue because I think we're off to a really good start. And it's not just basketball.
Yeah.
I can say that.
Yeah.
The amphitheater in Rush County is also a fantastic venue.
I've heard really good things about it.
I don't know if you've been down there yet for their summer concert series, but it is excellent.
Greenfield's building an amphitheater right now too.
Monorail, man. We need a monorail. That's all I'm saying.
I think there is a monorail in the Biden's plan for getting us further in debt.
There's an abandoned monorail in downtown Indianapolis now for the hospitals.
Did they not use it anymore?
No, they gave up. Yeah, they quit using that.
That's
like 3 years ago.
I was gonna say I was like when I first started
the hospital.
When I first started going to Indy, I was like, "What the hell is this thing?" And then I was like, "What is that for?" And then I forgot totally that it was a part of the hospital.
It was for the hospital.
But I guess I hadn't seen it the last couple times I've been in Indy. So
my dad was hospitalized at one point, and I was like, "Okay, we're going to jump on this from Methodist." Because we were really tired of eating the 1.5 hospital cafe because I didn't want to get the car to the garage and go drive somewhere. We're like, we'll get on this and we'll take it down to like Riley or whatever's down there. There's got to be a stop closer to downtown where we can walk.
Right.
Total disaster. I could never figure out how to get on it, how to leave. None of it worked right.
What's a bummer mess. Is Indianapolis is set up perfectly to have a monorail. If you think about it, you could just loop downtown. And if you loop downtown, it could get you by Bankers Life, Lucas Oil Stadium, the zoo, White River State Park is all like on the peripheral of downtown. And that would be,
it's not a reality.
Instead, they just ran it. I mean, there's a bunch of hospitals right there together, and that's where they put the monorail.
Well, as I say, most people in Indy, and this is not true for the people who visit, but the cultural trail is massive. And it's not massive for the people who don't go there a lot because we're not going to walk from downtown to Broad Ripple, right? So you have to bring a bike, but many people bike from downtown to Broad Ripple, from downtown to Fountain Square, or just the cultural trail is massive. It's a huge system, and that's how people navigate on foot, and probably is why you would almost argue like people probably wouldn't use the monorail because they would just go on foot. But for people out of town, you're right. Like there needs to be an in between. The scooters are trying to fix that problem to some degree, but it's not quite there.
So Jesse, when you dreamed up this episode,
I didn't dream this episode.
When we dreamed up this episode about 8 days ago, you went on some sort of a rant in a private Facebook group over service animals and being very upset over people using these emotional support animals. And you were mad that they weren't all fair, and I thought, you know what, this is your time to shine.
I don't think it's that it's not fair. I think that
they're annoying.
It's not that they're annoying. It's more that I'm concerned, and it's to the point that I'm annoyed. So Mark knows where this is going.
No, I'm just
He has.
No,
the same
I'm
kind of
concerned
fear.
where it's going because like I seen these show notes and we're talking about service animals and like so I like okay I Google not to hijack your
This is your guest, man. You take as long as you
like
want.
I was like
You should be
all right
talking.
so service
What's a
animals.
service animal?
So I typed in literally before I was about to leave like service animals and like why they're not allowed on planes and like and it was like sitcom comedic level like parody with these animals. I don't know, something along those lines. I was just like, this is hysterical, and I'm not reading anymore. I'm just gonna wait till later. And I was like, because I knew you were gonna get to this point of like, you don't like animals.
It's
and
not that I don't like
and
animals.
I don't disagree with
You're
you.
an anti-dogite.
I'm an anti-dogite.
He's about to shit
What?
on me too.
You don't like dogs?
See, here it comes.
What the hell is
I
wrong
know.
with you, dude?
Boom! There comes the fire. Everybody's just like, "What the?
I knew it was
are
gonna
you
come to this.
talking
That's why I
about?"
wanted to, like, get
I'm
that in.
surprised Betsy hasn't taken off her shawl to throw down.
I might.
Because it's
might whip your
look
ass.
look at the fire in her
I'm
eyes.
pissed.
Look at it.
How do you not like dogs?
Exactly. How
You're
so
such a contrarian.
he's got Loki and he loves Loki.
You
I
probably
love
choose it
Loki.
on purpose. You're
His
like,
cat.
I'm going to be a
This is your
contrarian.
time.
I hate
This is
dogs,
your-
and everybody loves
for
dogs.
No. So I was like, look, it's going to get to a point where people are going to want to bring their dead dogs with them. And I got ahead of the curve. I brought my dead cat with me tonight. This is all Loki right here. This is his ashes. Because I don't understand. And people laugh now. This is going to be a reality. In
That doesn't
5
bother
years.
me. I mean, it's a little weird, but like, you're not disrupting.
It's not. It's
Unless you
kind
get
of. It's
weepy.
kind
Why
of
does it
weird.
bother you?
No,
It's
it's
not
kind of weird
barking.
right now.
Does Loki ride shotgun with you everywhere, Jesse?
You buckle him in.
I'm going to start making him do it. I'm going to start bringing him everywhere I go.
Do it. This is America.
It is America, and that's why I have this opinion.
Do you have a permit to be transporting those ashes?
This dead
I don't know. I don't know.
sir.
I had to get okay from Jeremiah to make sure I could do this. 'Cause I was like, this is very weird, and I'm going to do it. But I was like, this is
Oh
going
no,
to be
this
a
is
thing.
exactly why we bring you on the show, Jesse.
No, but so listen. No, you think it's weird, but people like right now when you get like someone's cremated, they try to sell you trinkets to wear them
Right.
around all the place. I've yet to see anybody do it with their damn dog.
You need to
Like,
hold.
No, they have
earring-
dog jewelry.
Oh,
They
no,
have dogs. I
yeah.
researched it. Yeah.
You need to
My
hold the
mom
cat
does.
up for the camera.
Does she
because
wear it?
The chat can't see the
I don't
cat.
know if she does or doesn't, but I know she has a,
It just says
a
my
charm.
this-
I don't
my
wanna
pet
touch
angel-
the bag.
I don't want to read. This is the company. This is the company's name.
Oh,
not
that
what
wasn't
I
your
didn't-
picking?
Yeah, I didn't pick that.
You didn't choose
What's
your
it called
cat.
again? What's it say again?
My pet angel.
It's
My
a
pet
company
angel.
that burns animals a lot, like while they pass away.
I mean, Loki was pretty
And it's
tight,
probably not all of
but it
there's-
wasn't an angel.
Loki's in here, Fido's in here. There's a bunch of other animals that are probably part of this bag.
There's a-
But
the
It looks a
universe-
lot like a Crown Royal bag.
I will
man.
say,
I know.
and this is it
You
does,
should have asked if you could get it in
but
a
it's like
purple and
Loki
yellow
Roy,
bag.
you know.
You can
So-
transfer into your own container.
No, I left it. It just sits on my TV stand.
I thought maybe
Never
hung him
forget.
I thought you maybe hung him from your rearview mirror.
Do you have to dust Loki?
Well, he had dust on his bag earlier.
That just helps him maintain weight, Jeremiah.
So my problem isn't that I don't like dogs. So let's clarify this problem.
He hates them.
No, I have this. I don't hate
I'm
them.
joking.
I don't hate dogs. I love my mom's dog. I like dogs and I hang out with dogs. I'm not obsessed with dogs. I've never been obsessed with dogs. I grew up with dogs. I had tons of dogs growing up. I probably had like 4 or 5 dogs growing up. My thing is that I don't enjoy, and I think it's a symptom of something, I don't know what, that people believe that they need to bring their dogs everywhere, and then they are amazingly disgusted when someone says no. And they're like, what do you mean no? Why can't Craig, my dog, come inside here?
Craig.
And
It's basically like white dude's name.
we're
Craig,
almost
my
there. They're
dog.
going. I mean, like
Craig.
everybody thinks they're part of the family now. And I'm like, why do you think you should be able to bring your dog into a restaurant? We cook food here.
There's a
we
whole-
get grossed out that there's human hair, which probably gets washed, depending on the individual, at least once a week. The dog, meanwhile, grooms itself with its disgusting tongue, and then it's floating in the air, depending on how bad they shed. I'm like, I don't want to be eating my curry and there also just be dog hair with it. That's not what I want.
How
There's
often does it
also-
happen, actually?
Nothing, because people can't bring their dogs. But the point is people try to bring their dogs and they get pissed
That they can't
when
bring
they
their
can't
dog.
bring them inside. Now, I don't know how much time you spend in Fountain Square.
A bit, yeah. I have friends down there.
Yeah.
All right.
So do they have dogs?
No. No. Yeah, they do, but
do you hang out like
They do, but they're in bags that they carry.
yeah, they're the non-living
They're in
kind.
the
Growing
Much
up,
quieter now.
College years
it's,
are beyond.
it's more prevalent there than it is here. It's getting worse here. I want to say
Fountain Square's a vibe.
That vibe is propagating. Especially the dog vibe is propagating so it began with my older brother. And he used to bring his dog everywhere. I was like, why does this grown man need to bring his dog everywhere he goes? And he can't leave
Does
it
the
not
dog
there.
perform a service for him? Does he say why? Because I'll bring my
I don't
dog
know.
to
He's
family
a terrible
events. If
dog
we're going
owner. He
camping,
makes
the
his
dogs
dog
spend
piss
the weekend
everywhere.
with us. Because I'm not leaving them at home if I'm leaving for 2 or 3 days, unless I have a dog sitter.
Right. And that's fine. But like, it's the entitlement that drives me insane. Like, and being told no. And then they're like, well, do you not like dogs? You're like, no, we are a restaurant and we're indoors.
So
and people might actually be allergic to the damn thing.
Fido is not allowed.
I think that's okay generally. I mean,
It is okay. I don't have a problem. So I go to
not,
Fountain
though.
Square like at least once a week. And I sit outside. I hang out with dogs. You have terrible dog owners who think it's funny that their dog comes over and sniffs me. And then like you have the really dumb dog owners who are new to dog owning who think that their dumb dog should come up and talk to the other dog without asking permission. Like people are trying to learn all these like dog protocols, and it's just a situation. And you're like, what is going on? Why are there dogs everywhere?
So you're saying
All we had to do,
hipsters are
Mark,
really
is
bad
just
at dog
put
discipline.
a quarter in Jesse and just let him run.
Well,
Hipsters are bad at dog discipline. Is what you're
like he's very much more opinionated
They
than me on
are-
it, but like I don't disagree with him like to an extent. Like don't get me wrong.
I was like, he likes dogs too.
So, I mean, I have dogs tattooed on my leg, and they're like my dogs. They're dead and gone. I love them to death. But like,
You should carry them in a bag, bro.
my mom has them at home. It's fine. I can visit whenever I want. But the point is, like,
You should bring your dog and my cat. We'll play together.
yeah, we'll just play video games, and the cats will sit on the table.
See,
No,
what I did is that my dog died last year, so I just got another one that looks exactly like him. It's
That's
fine.
what people do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
not the
there's,
same.
there also is a separation because there's two different, to me, classes of animals that are used. There's an actual service animal.
Correct.
yeah. So we're
Highly
dancing on the
trained,
line of like
highly
service animal
trained,
and just like
very expensive, and it serves a very important purpose for the owner, whether it be like seizure prediction or seeing eye dog. And then there's this thing. What
And then
happened
there's Fountain
was
Square.
smelling
Where-
blood
thinner.
glucose
somebody figured
issues.
out you could buy a vest online, and somebody also figured out that you can call it an emotional support animal, and that because of HIPAA they can't question you.
So
Right.
And so people start bringing, and I think what finally was the straw that broke the camel's back, is I was looking it up earlier, is the strange things that people were taking on airplanes. And people took turkeys.
Yes.
People took pigs, which I actually don't have a problem with pig. Pigs are smart. Pigs can probably do the job. Miniature horse. Somebody tried to take on a plane. or
Because
did.
these people are trolling because I want to do
Bearded
this.
dragon. Just like people are just coming up with the craziest animals that they could. Snakes, which I have a problem with the snake in that.
fuck that.
As much
thing.
as emotional support.
Only
it
if
might
Samuel L.
provide-
Jackson's
Snakes
on
on
that
the plane.
freaking train.
Yeah.
It's on plane.
for the one person it provides comfort to on the plane, there's probably a dozen people
Who are terrified.
including my wife, who would lose their mind.
So then that's
Go
the
to
other
full
problem. There are
panic
people
attack.
who are terrified of dogs. And we forget this because everybody, like I grew up with a kid who got mauled by a chow, was terrified. Dude would break down like a 15-year-old kid would cry. And granted, he needs therapy, but I'm also suggesting these other people need some therapy. Like you need to learn to be able to leave your house without your pet all the time.
An actual service animal, you barely notice that they're there.
Well, and- yeah, so the whole
come in,
point-
they
ball
sit
game,
down there
though.
with
Yeah,
the owner and they chill until it's time to leave, and then they're back on the clock. and so yeah,
And that was my point is like, so I have a friend who happens to be blind, literally, and has a legitimate service dog. And his name is Griffey. Great dog. Wonderful dog. Love it. Doesn't bark, doesn't do it. Now, let's say he's still good. He's a little rough right now because he's brand new to being a service dog. So he still wants to say hi to other dogs. And the owner has to be like, no, that's not what you're here
You
for.
work for me right now.
You're on the job, and you don't pet it. You don't do these things. And I was like, perfect dog, just sits here. Great. And it has a handle. And I think Christy had mentioned that like it's not she mentioned some comedian and said like, it's not a service dog unless it has a handle. And I was like, that's pretty much how I look at it. It's like if it doesn't have its vest and handle, It's not a service dog. This is something that you want because you can't leave the home.
Emotional support.
Yeah, it's emotional support. And so it's turned into, first off, the dogs were like dependent on the human. But now I think it's flipped. And I think there's like this like almost toxic dependency that's happening. And I think it's a symptom of something else larger in society, because we never were this way. You can look at like 2012 or 2013, the amount of money people started spending on their pets like skyrocketed. And now it's like gone off the rails.
There's
like
an industry around these. So I in the show notes I provided a link to I guess we'll call it one of the leading emotional support animal registration services. Because I'm like, who's in charge? Who decides if it's a service dog versus an emotional support dog? Is there any credentialing? Does the state decide? Does the county decide? How the hell do we work this out? So this website is basically, it's kind of like the way I became a pastor to marry Zach's brother last year. You pay a one-time fee of $69 to unitedsupportanimals.org, and they give you a letter. And they promise that with their letter that you can fly with your pet in the cabin of an airplane at no charge, keep your pet in a housing even if there's no pet policy, say goodbye to pet security deposits forever. And they've got all these different price points. And for $100, you get, something assigned by a therapist, and it has a travel letter involved and yada, yada, yada. If you go, buy the $169 package, it comes with the vest.
The whole thing's a sham.
They just add it up, make it up. There's no questions. There's none of that stuff. It's just, whatever. They built they just play dress up with the animal. And I think you're exactly right, is that there's something's going on in society. And this is my point. It's not even that I care as much as I'm just like, what the hell is going on with people? When did we become these species that relies on this other species so bad? Like understanding that you have it for protection and all this, but now it's like, no, I need it to go to dinner. I need it to go out to the house. Every time I leave the house, it has to be with me.
Well, how
That's
many people
crazy.
are actually in that mode? Like, I know you're pissed off at like what? 1% of the population, or like I know it's increased, but is this really a significant societal issue?
It is in Fountain Square, obviously.
So I think the problem is that you're in Fountain Square.
No, I mean, like,
and I love Fountain Square, but you're in Fountain Square, dude.
No, I know, but you see it happening more and more. So like,
so Indiana changed the law in 2018. This is the last thing in the show notes. There was a Wish TV story. Our state senator, Jean Lysing, she was the author of a bill that was signed by Eric Holcomb in 2018. And the law says that someone's disability isn't obvious, the potential landlord can ask them for written proof from a doctor or licensed healthcare provider, so that to prove that they need the animal. And Lysing said that in the Lafayette area, there was an apartment owner who said someone came in and they had 2 cats and 10 rats and said they were their emotional support animals. And they didn't have anything to turn them away.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to find these like fringe cases, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm more concerned about people's well-being, because it just seems like there's something else going on. And I'm trying to be more observant of pointing it out. And it may not even trickle into other people. I'm a very observant person. And when I say stuff, people are like, you're fucking crazy. And I'm like,
well, that's why we have you on the show.
I know. But then like 5 years from now, you're going to be like, there's going to be a thing like the CDC has said that there is now a problem with all these. I'm like, I told you. Like,
Jesse, this is what you're getting at. We are mental health wise, like we as a culture, and society, we're in a bad way. So we're leaning on the dogs too much for companionship and love, because we're not getting in other places. We're isolated, all of it. So you're just speaking about an ongoing public health crisis.
Yes,
and the pandemic's not helping.
Yeah,
and we all need a lot of help.
Because you know what?
The dogs are fine, but the emotional support turkey is too much.
No, but
it's too far.
No,
so here's invest in public health.
But the only turkey we loved has been dead for 3 years.
It's not just that.
Rest in peace, my friend.
It's not just that though. They had the dogs. Now they have dogs and houseplants. Like, and now it's because they're constantly having to take care of things. I'm like, take care of yourself. Quit trying to push off. It seems like you're deferring your own self-care.
You know what would help?
Not you. I'm looking at you. But
you know what would help?
Talking in general.
Fast time all the time, so it wasn't dark and depressing at 5:15 when you get home from work.
Yeah.
Jesse Riddle advocates for investment in mental health in Indiana.
I do, because here's the thing is like, if
Jesse's like, close the jails, let's do full mental health.
No, if I was to ever go to college, I would go for psychology. And it's because I find this stuff interesting. It's not, and that's what I say. Like,
you'd be a real good psychologist. I find that interesting.
Yeah, no.
Go on.
I would be. The psychologist is fine. A psychiatrist would be terrible, because I can't sit and just talk to people. But I can make these hypotheticals.
You do. It's called a
studies.
podcast.
No, I can do studies. But anyway, my whole point was is that
East Indiana,
yeah.
whatever.
But my whole point is like I jokingly say, and it's obviously not a funny joke, but I'm like, you need to see a therapist. Like, but I actually mean it. Like, I'm being hyperbolic but sincere at the same time. Like, I want you to see a therapist to talk through this. And the problem is that you have therapists who are like signing off, like, yeah, the pet's solving the problem. I'm like, is it though? Because it's just creating a dependency. And when that thing dies, because they have very short lifetimes, they're going to be in a heap of shit. And then they're going to have to go figure that out and then go through the whole process again. Versus like,
here's the problem.
What is really the problem?
It's a deeper dive than I expected, honestly.
We're all different, Jesse.
Welcome.
We're all different. I have almost no emotion when it comes to pets.
I know. You
I
hired a hitman on the dark market to kill your cat. I know.
So when my dog died, it was like, yeah, that was sad for a day.
Are you kidding?
It took a year and a half for Sarah to be as ready as I was to be like, okay, we're going to replace the dog. And it's very transactional. I love them while I have them, but I know that they have a very short life. And we, growing up on the farm, things happened.
Right.
A lot of animals were
growing up on a farm.
Same life for me, but like Team Sarah. Like, we lost our dog, our beloved dog, in May, and it broke my soul. Like, and my reaction was, I'm so sad about this, and so he was the best dog in the world. You would have liked my dog.
I was going to say,
Tucker
like
was
dogs.
the best of the best, and he was a little rescue. He was the best. Anyway, I was like, I am so lost without a dog, and I don't think I'm a weak person. I don't take my dog everywhere.
I'm not saying
no.
you're
I know.
weak.
I know. And I know the type of person you're talking about.
I will hyperbolically call people weak. I don't really mean it.
My puppy didn't come to council with me tonight,
yes,
right? Like,
right.
I get it. Like, he's home with.
Oh my God, would that be great though if you get elected to state rep? And then you're the lady that walks in with
I'll tell you how to get a bunch of damn
dog
dogs
every time.
But
put a damn dog in your photo, you're going to win the damn race.
I have a lot of pictures with puppies, but
them, they'd be like, oh my God.
The flip of Sarah, like I was so broken without my dog. I was like, I need something. And so I spent way too much time this summer looking, and within a month we had a puppy who is growing up slowly, but he's kind of a disaster. We call him Tiny Terrorist.
We are in
That's what I call children.
His name's
training
Benny.
mode.
That's what I call my son.
Yeah.
Ash.
That's what I said.
My mom loves him though.
It's okay to have a kid, Mark.
No,
you can
fuck
still
that.
call them Tiny Terrorists.
No, those are the same things. Like people that like bring their dogs and their kids to restaurants are the same people to me.
The dogs have a choice. The kids, it's usually
get you.
well behaved,
and
the kid isn't going to be licking its butthole while it's also while you're eating curry.
Yeah,
I don't know why I keep saying curry.
I know. Where are you eating?
You're a curry fan. It's fine.
I love curry.
I'm
so
interested.
I want
Do
to
they
make
let
sure
dogs
that,
into the Indian restaurant here in Spiceland?
No, I don't have no idea.
Just do the kitchen.
Oh, that's a good
But I
restaurant.
was going to say,
Oh my God,
it should have
Sam.
been on the list. It doesn't do well with
Just
the
in the
health
kitchen.
reports. It doesn't do great with the health reports, but it is a great restaurant.
It's good.
I will say, when I had to put Loki down because he was sick as shit, I cried a lot. I was like, oh my God, this sucks.
Obviously, you got duped into buying the thing.
I know. I know this.
So Jesse Riddle does have a heart. It's
I
in there
do have a
somewhere.
heart.
It's
You heard it
somewhere.
first.
I
Here,
do.
a boss hog of liberty.
So here's how
Breaking
much of a
news.
heart I have. I had another cat die.
Will Loki be in the picture tonight?
Yeah, maybe.
In memory.
He'll just be in my pocket. But
If you don't hold it up, why do you even bring him?
hold him up.
so no, because that's just a little off tasting, I think.
Loki would love it.
You guys will. That would have been my idea, and everybody like, that's not a good idea. But anyways, so the whole point here, don't put the company's title in it. Like, be gentle with him, okay?
Oh my God! Yeah, I just realized I dropped him from 30.
So anyway, my whole point is, I'm an animal person, and I believe they do respect. What I don't think is that we need a bunch of people owning, because a lot of people can't take care of themselves. They don't need to take care of any other animals. They need to take care of themselves. But when my cat Shagrath died, it was like January, and he's like, I forget what he did with it. He put him in a trash can or something, whatever. My dad's, from the old world, and I'm like,
dude, I can't tell you how many dead baby goats we put in feed sacks and just
Yeah, so I was like, we're not going to give my cat a disrespectful death funeral. I was like, we're going to go outside and dig up a damn hole and put him in it. And he's like, it's January. I don't give a fuck, Dad. We're doing it. And I made him come out there with me because I was like, you put him in a trash can. I was like, we are putting him, and so we're digging in like frost world. And my dad's like, this is bullshit. I was like, he doesn't deserve to go away in a trash can. Like, I'm very respectful of animals. I'm so respectful of animals that like if
Jesse has been moved
that
to
he
tears
digs a
at
hole
this
in
point.
January.
I don't know if they're like. I think they're
the
tears
present
of
tension.
laughter. They're not really tears of crying. But I'm saying,
don't be ashamed.
no, I'm not.
This is real.
What a roller coaster
We honor
night this has been.
We honor you.
I love you guys.
This is everything Jeremiah hoped for last week. And more.
So anyway, the thing is that where was I going with this?
Your dead cat, January.
Dead cat January.
Frosted grounds.
Yeah,
This is
but there was
bullshit,
something-
Dad.
By the way,
There's
Jesse,
something for
if my
this.
brother was here, he'd tell you he's sorry your dad's passed.
He's like, wait, your dad died?
A proper burial.
No, but there was something.
We have the worst running jokes, Betsy, with Jesse on this show.
Yeah,
I
they're very
accidentally bring up
terrible
his
jokes.
dead cat, and then he brings the damn thing. And my brother
That's metal.
keeps telling Jesse how sorry he is. His father passed away 2 years ago.
I would agree with the metal statement.
It's very metal.
Oh, it's horrific.
I wish I could remember what I was going to say though.
And I think, okay, so Jesse, tell me if I'm wrong. I think if I understand your stance,
Please do,
you
because
also-
most people can.
I feel like I'm better understanding and conceptualizing your stance. You're saying you also don't want animals in public to be disruptive. Like chill animals, quiet animals are much better than like dogs that are just out of control. And also maybe not support turkeys.
Well, yeah. So so at Blackacre where I go, sometimes people bring a rabbit.
Sometimes he goes to Irvington. He doesn't go to Fountain Square.
Yeah, so people bring a rabbit, and I think it's hilarious I want the dogs to go ape shit.
What you need is the rabbit to be on the menu. You need Blackacre needs to start selling rabbit.
They're going to have
nuggets.
a rotisserie chicken potentially.
I wonder if
Rotisserie-
anybody's ever taken their emotional support turkey to Thanksgiving dinner.
Did you see that Indiana?
That's what I was going to go.
Indiana,
You helped me
Braun,
with
Senator Braun made a post today that the 2 turkeys that Biden is pardoning are from Indiana. They're from Jasper,
That's awesome.
Indiana Pride.
Are
baby.
they Amish turkeys?
I can't believe that Senator Braun acknowledged that Biden's president.
I was going to say, I got my train of thought real quick, and I want to finish it. I was like, I respect animals enough that like if I'm getting full on my plate, I will eat my animals. I will leave everything else, and I eat the thing that died for the plate. Jeremiah threw his chicken away tonight. I will never do that. I will never do that. Like I'll be like, no, I'm eating it, or I'll take it home and I'll eat it. I will never.
Because you want to honor the sacrifice.
Exactly.
Respect.
And
Dakota would agree
so
on the
it's-
protein level, I'm sure.
I was going to say, I respect the yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I left
But,
behind half of a beer and 3 chicken nuggets.
No one died for your beer, Jeremiah.
Borderline.
2
3/4
chickens'
of the
titties
beer.
were left on his plate and a beer. It was a disgusting display of
Waste.
whatever money you have. I don't know.
Whatever money you have.
Flaunting your Henry
I know
County
you guys
wealth.
both left.
When
I'm
they
sitting
say
there
eat
still
the
finishing
rich,
my
I'm just
beer.
going
I'm
to
like,
go, this
all
guy
right.
left 3 chicken nuggets on his plate and a beer. I'm out.
And half of a $3 beer because I didn't want to overserve myself before I came here and had more on the show.
But yeah, so anyways, I think I was going to say though, I think there's a sensible amount of you can have animals out in public. That's not my problem. I think expecting them everywhere you go, that momentum needs to stop. And you should definitely never, ever, ever, ever have animals in the kitchen, like near a kitchen. Like that's just like if you're preparing food for the public.
Yeah.
Like don't do
Our
that.
dogs
think
know to
that-
stay the hell out of the kitchen.
Yeah, I think you're not wrong. I think that's all.
But I
pretty
wish
logical.
that was the consensus I get.
I just think you're hanging out in weird places, man.
Well, I
like
was
you need to
gonna
get
say-
out Fountain Square.
But I see
it's going to
it.
migrate. Though.
It's to me, it's like a bubbling up of culture, and because I see
Fountain Square
you
is the
used to
tip of the
never-
spear. Next thing you know, it's gonna be
We're gonna
Middletown,
have a
Betsy.
Tappers in downtown Newcastle.
That
I
would be
hope.
dope.
Oh yeah, I love.
I was
Tappers.
just at Tappers the other day, like
So
4 nights ago. But anyway, I was going to say, like used to, you would hardly see people walking their dogs in Newcastle. Now you see it a lot.
Zach, I'm going to bring Garth into the Dogs
it's to
Club.
me,
that
it's
healthy
society
behavior,
changing.
though?
I think walking a dog,
like
getting
that's
them
fair.
out of the house, it is fair. But the problem,
But bringing them into
it's like
B-dubs, you know.
But I'm saying like it's just a symptom of like the progression of what society's
I'm with you.
doing.
I mean, I
not
definitely
everyone
get
that's
it.
going to walk their dogs and be like, I need to bring my dog into B-dubs. I'm just saying that there's going
I'm
to
going
be
to say it's something that goes even beyond pets. there's just a permeates. This is like it pops up in camping, and it popped up locally, where people just think that they should be able to do whatever they want to do, and that the world should have to bend to them, and to the point that they're just rude and like awful to other people. Like the city council jumped on it real quick. There was a woman that came into the city council meeting a couple weeks ago because her mother's neighbor, elderly mother's neighbor, was using his backyard, which is the middle of a residential area, for practicing with his hunting bow, and was using this woman's driveway and her property as like the backstop. So he could overshoot and it would end up on her property. And when they approached him and said, "Hey, could you like turn this around and like use his own house as the backstop?"
He failed to use the golden rule.
He said, "Call the cops."
Yeah.
And so she came to the city council meeting and said, my mom's nearly blind. There's arrows in the yard at times. And they changed it. So now the guy, nobody gets to do it. I know a big thing in camping is people leave lights on. And they're like, I should be able to leave all my lights on. Well,
Hey man, if they didn't want lights on, they should. They wouldn't build them on it.
They should go camp somewhere else. Or they said,
bring your own candle.
Everybody else should get blackout curtains. And they're like, well, maybe they're afraid of the dark. I'm like, then they're in their trailer though.
Right.
And it's just like a little thing of just like, I was camping. I had my lights on. I turn my lights off when I go to bed. But like I had neighbors that had tents. So I dropped my awning. I watched it to the point where my lights would not shine in the neighbor's tent. Because I'm like, I wouldn't want to do that to them. And it's just that mentality with everything where people just want to do what they want to do. And the minute you say, that's kind of affecting my life a little bit, and they say even nicely, the people just lose their mind.
I know.
So the person wants to have
That's
their
what they're
dog.
entitled. There's
People
no
just
like
want to do
two-way
whatever
street.
they want to do, however they want to do it. And the minute somebody says anything, then they just scream that they're being discriminated against or abused or something. It's just people, just nice neighbors. Just be conscientious people of others' lives, and people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I say I've thought about like it would be fun to just if I could get a cat that I could just carry everywhere. To be like,
Would you though?
Yes, because I would do it in spite.
Is Jesse-
just to like watch the dogs go ape shit and just be like,
what
this
is
And then the
Jesse's
cat's going to claw
handbag
your
gonna
arm
look
off.
like?
And
That would be a great time. I would wear like a hawk leather glove type thing. And they're like, why is this? I'm like,
you think you're going to hold on to that cat?
no,
Yeah,
I
good
don't-
luck. God bless, dude.
It's not going to work.
And then you got a lawsuit.
Potentially a raccoon.
I would
A trash
love
panda.
raccoon.
Yeah, I'd just be like, I've got my own trash panda on a leash. And the dogs are just going. I'm like,
losing their shit.
why is
So
your
the
dog
dog
doing
owners
this?
are not allowed to like come to.
No,
Town
the
Square.
point is, at this point, we need to let I'm saying if dogs are okay,
You want
why
them
are not
all.
other animals okay?
Open the floodgates. Jesse wants his pet raccoon.
I want to go to a zoo when I go to a brewery.
Oh, you know what you need?
Go to Minnesota.
I know.
I said it.
Jesse,
Sorry.
you need a parrot. You need a parrot on your shoulder
Oh, man.
for the next 70 years.
You never heard the story about me and Mark? And I was telling Mark, I was like, it was like it was a nice, cool day. We could have the windows open. And I was like, here's what's funny, dude. I was like, we could act like we could make parrot sounds really loud and convince the neighbors that we have parrots, but we don't have parrots. And if they ever came into your house, they would be like, "Where's the parrot?"
Have you ever been around parrots?
No.
They're going to mimic the worst noises in your life. And I say this.
We were doing obnoxious noises.
No. Let me give you a preview. I've lived around an African gray since I was since 2001.
Why does it have to be African?
Why is
That is how
gray?
he identifies. Anyway, and also his species, but fine.
I bought him at Walmart.
That would be Arkansas.
So the parrot that my mom's parrot, his favorite noise is our fire alarm. And when I call my mom, she's on speaker and I'm on speaker in my car. Sally's listening and she's gonna burp. It's the worst noise. It literally taps into. I'm very sound sensitive since I had a concussion a few years ago, and it literally causes brain pain. So they've picked the worst. They can be charming.
Right.
They could also pick the worst noises in your life and then mimic them at the worst times and torture you.
Yeah, well, I was going to say,
And
were,
they'll
And they're
live
the
longer
smartest
than you
animal in the
will.
world. African grays are the smartest animal in the world. They have the intelligence of a 5-year-old, and they can be emotional terrorists, but they're also charming. It's both.
when we were making the noises, I was like, Mark, give us one of your. Yeah, we were like doing I was like, you could just make them because if you've ever been on Mass Ave by the shoe store, I forget the name of the shoe store, but there's a shoe store on Mass Ave.
There's a cobbler on the south end of Mass Ave.
And they have a parrot that the guy will wheel out, and it just sits there. And so you could be at your restaurant, and it's almost as annoying as if a yappy dog or something else is out there, or just public. and it's just going ape shit. Like, you're like, dude, take your bird inside. That thing is annoying as hell. Why do you have it outside? And you're like, but it just sits there and just makes the obnoxious noise, and people are like, oh my God, walking by.
But it's on their property. They don't care.
I need you to unplug. I need you to unplug the Jesse vending machine so we can talk about.
I know we need to leave
until I get my quarterback. Sorry,
we're done with the pet talk. I love animals.
I am not going to follow anything that was just talked about with artwork. I'm just saying.
You've got an Etsy page. Yes. People are Christmas shopping. You're our art expert. You can. There are commissioned Mark Fultz paintings out there now.
They are.
There are
MerkerMark. I don't think you're using the right term.
It's MerkerMark or Mark Fultz, whatever.
It's Mark Fultz.
It's a
in the show notes. There's a link to your Etsy page, to the MerkerMark Etsy page. I'm sporting the MerkerMark logo on the laptop. It has been on there since your last appearance on the show.
I see you.
We show you off. We're very proud.
I appreciate you.
I will say, it's not all art pieces are not for everybody.
No. I've toned down lately.
There's some a little bit more edgy.
You literally drew a naked woman like 3 days ago.
Yeah, a big ass naked chick.
I don't know about
flames.
Down.
I sent it to Zach and I said, if you're not done with your Christmas shopping yet, Zach, this is what Mark has to offer. But you do have some. I'm sure you'll do some custom stuff if people ask for it.
I can do some more tasteful things for sure.
But if somebody wants their dead cat painted,
I thought about doing Loki, but Riddle has not hit me up yet on the Loki.
A good friend would have just done it.
I just pulled up your Etsy, and I'm a little weirded out.
Sorry about you.
There's a lot of stuff out there, but you do have a Grinch one that I thought would be great to highlight for Christmas.
Great, thank you. I've got a ton. I've got like wow.
Which one is making?
I know.
You do these effects?
I will not describe it to you.
Can you show us?
I'll just tell you, the Rim Reaper.
No comment.
Okay.
If you haven't seen the Rim Reaper, that's probably the one.
I was expecting this is probably cutesy Christmas artwork. Oh,
but it is.
Some of it is.
You just got to go further, and then you're
some
like,
of it's very
shit.
troubling.
You have to go through like the adult neighborhood.
Oh, Tiger King. Okay.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I will say Rim Reaper is the hot seller. So if you're interested, they've been selling.
But you know what we're talking about.
I do.
Okay, great. Because that is selling like hotcakes.
It is not.
Oh yes, it is.
No, I swear.
How many did you sell like last weekend,
dude?
Or 2 weekends ago?
Seriously, all right, like maybe 3 weeks ago, I sold probably $300 worth of stickers of Rim Reaper alone, and I'm not exaggerating.
These are the people that are telling Zach to fuck off with their lights.
I had a couple like loose like stickers in between there, but seriously, like it was nonstop. And like to make the joke,
how did these people find it?
Like I know, like
you put them on Marketplace,
like your listeners,
Halloween.
Like the description is called Rim Reaper. Like you can use your imagination of
Rim
what it is,
and a Reaper, and a tongue.
You can see it at MerkerMark, at Etsy, at MerkerMark. But whatever. It's absurd. It is ridiculous, but seriously, like I don't know what like
the hot girl
got
shit
put in.
one is the one that I sent to Zach.
Yeah, the hot girl shit was pretty fun too. I think like what was exciting about that is like the stupid photo I took to post to social media with the hot girl shit because like it is a large painting. It's like 5 by 3 maybe. I don't know.
5 foot by 3 foot.
Yeah, 5 foot by 3 foot.
That's a huge fight.
It's a big piece, but it's like a small like tiny like flash drawing piece, and like I did it pretty quickly. But I don't know.
You have one that's a chainsaw that just says anxious. Is that that's the Jesse Riddle collection?
No, that's like so. There's actually meaning behind
Mark
that.
is
like,
very anxious.
I'm very anxious.
So
that's why I made that. I was like,
am.
so what's like very like I was thinking like when I made that at the time, like 2 years ago, I was like
feel like
what's something
anxious?
that made like I was thinking like Limp Bizkit at the time, like the chainsaw, whatever. If anybody even remembers that, break stuff.
Off of,
yes. And I was like a motherfucking chainsaw. What? I was like, all right, I'm gonna like that makes sense to me, so I'm gonna throw like anxious, like as a silhouette in a chainsaw vector. It just made sense. I don't know.
But I have no idea how your brand works, man. I love it. Man. It's out there.
So the point of the matter is like, yeah, there's some like pretty distasteful art, but there's also like some tasteful art too, like what I've been working on and been putting out.
Have you guys seen the Rim Reaper? Have you sold out, Mark? And you haven't read up on the? You probably need to.
Dude, I know.
It's the
back to what I
in the store.
when I said I made like a few $100s a couple weeks ago. I literally had to re-up on the supply I had, and I'm almost down and out.
I don't see the Christmas stuff coming up. That's my problem.
Is this
Is
is this your B. Arthur shirt, or is that just showing me something else?
B. Arthur.
Golden Girls. Look, here, I'm on his page, and there's a B. Arthur.
Well, I think the search was for that. That's from David Trending Gifts.
So
there's somebody that has one that's a B Arthur.
that appeals to me maybe more than some of your other
art.
art.
You're talking about still. Like the Christmas stuff is like it's been recent. Like there's like probably 4 or 5. It's under the originals tab. There's a handful. I've probably done like 3 or 4 Grinches. It's not even up yet, but it will be like probably tomorrow. A Charlie Brown one. Jack Skellington as Santa Claus from Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, I don't know. I really got into a habit of making Halloween stuff because it was like in my wheelhouse of making like horror and dark and just obscure art. So I was like, all right, that's came and went. The hype is done. So now I need to like get in on the.
We're on to the next holiday.
Yeah.
No Thanksgiving pieces for some reason.
Well, no, like
I feel like you can have a lot of fun with dark dead turkeys.
It sounds like you just went with.
It.
Sounds like you went with corporate America on this one.
I did.
Sold out.
No, I did.
Out.
You know why? Because like
you heard it here first. MerkerMark
you
sold out.
You don't decorate like for Thanksgiving. If you do, then
because
it's like,
nobody's making Thanksgiving.
Because it's Halloween, and then
I wanted you to do the hand turkey.
Thanksgiving.
You should have done a hand turkey, but you should have made it like
I'm not making
metal.
You should have made it. You should have made like a limb cut off, and it was like people shoved like turkey feathers and shit in it.
Hey, you know what? You can do a custom commission piece right here.
I'm not.
But you won't do it.
I'm not doing it.
Because people don't buy custom Thanksgiving art pieces, but you might.
I'm gonna raise my hand and let you answer a stupid question because I'm getting ready to ask it.
There's no stupid questions on.
What is a Krampus?
You don't really know what Krampus is?
Krampus?
Yeah.
Krampus is the like alter ego
of Santa Claus.
Yes, exactly.
Isn't it like a German like version of like you're a bad kid and Krampus comes to get you kind of thing?
It dates back like pretty much
There's a Dwight thing on The Office.
Yes.
There's a very dark
like pre-Christian like folklore, I would say, maybe. Yeah, so essentially it's picture like a demon or the devil with a knapsack and chains and or a whip, depending on what area of history you dabble in, that comes and punishes bad children around Christmas time. Instead of giving them presents, he pretty much terrorizes children, which I love that because I don't like kids, and that's hilarious to me.
It sounds like a metaphor for the government at this point, but
so
use your imagination.
You're putting new art all the time.
All the time.
And you're available for custom stuff. So if you want something that's toned down and has the family dog.
So yeah, I know we're talking about
it together.
Rim Reaper.
He does portraits,
Krampus.
dogs.
I seriously do pet portraits, dog portraits, animal portraits.
Can you draw my dead cat?
Yes, I could. If you give me a decent photo of your dead cat.
Take a picture of it right there.
Let me just draw the Crown Royal bag real quick. But no, I can do more tasteful stuff instead of demonic children tormenting demons. I can tone it down.
You've got range.
I've got range. That's just what I'm into, so I'm going to play into what I'm into. But I can tone it back.
Are you still doing black market tattoos?
No.
All right.
Could you tattoo Jesse using the ashes of his dead cat?
No, but I know that's a thing too. Back to like that.
That's an actual
like
thing.
that is
That's
a thing,
real?
and that is
Yes.
weird.
Dude, people are crazy.
I just
They
don't know
are
how they would
crazy.
react. I don't.
You know what? The first time I heard about people doing anything with the ashes was how high they were like trying to study for something, and they put like the founding fathers' ashes in a weed plant, and they were smoking and like talked to Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, I remember this loosely.
That was pretty crazy.
There's always the guy who's the guy they think the character Jack Sparrow is based off of for the movie, the rock and roll guy.
Keith Richards.
Yeah, who's rumored to have snorted his dead father's ashes, I believe. He says he didn't, but
Well, that's what they end up doing in How High. He puts his dead friend in there and they smoke him so he can talk to him. It was a very terrible movie.
So Thanksgiving is coming up. This is our last episode before Thanksgiving, before we gather with the families. I wanted to talk about the holiday because this is secretly, I think, or the down low favorite holiday for me. You get
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
I wouldn't be able to
Down
tell.
low for you or everyone?
For me, it's sneaky as the best holiday on the calendar.
It's far superior.
I would
to
argue
Christmas
it
to
is.
me.
Yeah, because it's less commitment. You don't have all the gifts to get. It's on a Thursday, so if you have a normal 9 to 5 job, you've got a 4-day weekend built in. You got football all day on Thursday.
Unless
if
you
you're
work
into that sort of a
retail.
thing, like Betsy and I are. That's why I said if you have a normal 9 to 5. If you're retail, then yeah, it's not nearly as
It's
posh.
It's a terrible holiday.
Right.
It's ultimately I've been there. It sucks really bad. Did it
It's
for like
actually
10 years,
at least the
15
retail
years.
side's getting better.
There's no inventory now,
well,
so
people
what the
are-
hell's the point of being
I was
open?
gonna say-
The business has finally started to like
Push back a little
back
bit.
off from like from
Well,
Black
it's-
Friday rolling like into dinner time for Thanksgiving, which
Yeah.
was insane. That was people being inconsiderate again.
I'm a big fan of like Leif Erikson Day. You know,
He's just a born
Contrarian.
contrarian.
So
Yeah.
I really like Thanksgiving, and I would say 4th of July is number one, not just for patriotism, but it's summer, fireworks, everybody's involved. It's just a good time. But like, I like Thanksgiving because it includes everybody, and like,
It's not a religious holiday per
it's
se.
not. And I love I love Christmas too. Like
Right.
Christmas is very important to my family and in my faith and all of it. But like Thanksgiving is everybody. It's great food. It's usually crappy football. Let's be real, Lions. But like,
No, they're gonna win this week.
you know, but
is it always the Lions?
The Lions and Cowboys always play, and then there's a third game where somebody
Yeah.
else plays.
Why is it always them?
because
tradition.
Yeah.
They've been around forever, and they've had the Thanksgiving Day.
It's like taking
game
your hat
forever.
off in a building. It's the same thing.
It's just always the
Honestly, a
Lions,
good
and the
metaphor.
Lions are always shitty.
Just doesn't make any sense. People just do it.
Cowboys are decent
Okay.
this year, and then there's
I didn't
usually
know.
a third game.
The food is bomb. Like it's just,
Yeah.
it's just a
I was
nice.
gonna say the
There's no.
food's
You're
good.
right. There's no pressure for gifts. It's just hanging out with people you care about and eating a lot of food and betting on
With the
football. I guess.
I was going to say, I definitely
aspect.
see more of my family on Thanksgiving than I do on Christmas.
Yes.
Is
Christmas
your-
is far more intimate as far as like as family is concerned. Like it's like the most closest of the family versus like
Thanksgiving
cousins
is a-
and stuff. I see my cousins and everything on during Thanksgiving, not necessarily on Christmas Day.
At this season of my life, it's become a travel. We have this will be the second or third year we've done it in Atlanta, so we have to travel down on the Wednesday night
Thanksgiving.
before for Thanksgiving, and it's nice
that's
for the
no
4-day
low-key
deal.
holiday.
Well, but it's a.
He's like, there's no commitment. We
That's
just
a
have to
dumb
go to
question.
Atlanta.
I just
Is
have
that
to drive
Atlanta, Indiana?
Georgia.
Okay, yeah.
Georgia.
Dumb question. I didn't
It's
know.
and the day before Thanksgiving is the busiest travel day of the year historically.
Right.
That's the day the airports are busiest, that the interstates are the most full, where people are on the road.
Biggest night in the bars too.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah,
other big
everybody in
thing
their
is that
hometown.
everybody's come back to their hometown, and it's when you find out the people you
Everybody
haven't
busts
seen in
out the
15 to
Letterman
20
jacket.
years. They're in.
Craig and Ashley are no longer together.
They're down
Ashley's on the market.
They're down to the town tavern, and you
mean
see
Craig the dog?
how they all worked out.
the dog.
Craig the dog.
Ashley the cat. They're available.
Zach, I know your favorite holiday is
Easter.
Memorial Day, obviously, but that's
Actually, worn out and recovering on Memorial Day.
But leading up to it.
Yeah.
But that's big because of where it is on the calendar,
Yeah.
right? For the
I do
tradition
like
of the Indy
Thanksgiving.
500
I'm bummed that it's being overrun by like
by Christmas, it's being
Yes.
pushed out.
I'm a Halloween baby. That's my birthday, and it is kicking off the holidays now, which is disturbing. That I find ironic in a very American way that we're going to skip right past the holiday that we're thankful for, anything, and skipping right to the one that's the most commercialized. Just go out and spend as much money as possible. Like I see how much,
Especially with
every-
Christianity
Black
on the
Friday?
decline,
every
it
year
doesn't
I
make
see
any
like
sense.
that they release the average family spends this much money on Christmas, and I am like, who are these people? Because it's like thousands of dollars.
They're my neighbors who shot fireworks off for 30 days
It's just
For Christmas?
in 2020. No, it was, I mean 30 days. I meant to say 30
For
months.
July 4th, starting in
Zach,
They
Zach, to your point, I'm kind of hoping that, and the supply chain crisis is real. And I was at Kroger today, and I was looking, I was in the pop aisle, soda aisle, whatever, pop. We're in Indiana, it's pop. And there was like no Coke, there's no Pepsi, like there's nothing diet. Like all over Kroger, there were like gaps in the store. It's scary. And that's just a grocery. Like it's all over. I guess I'm thinking like people are not going to have so many gifts to purchase for Christmas. So I'm kind of hoping it makes us re-examine our values and say, okay, what is Christmas actually about? Is it about freaking gifts?
Well,
or
if
is
you
it
go
about-
back to Patreon, there is
That sounds like a good 2020
adult workbench we
statement.
discussed.
I just think maybe we
That's
need to
available.
re-examine like the commercialism of it and say, no, this is the holiday's supposed to be this. So maybe we should re-examine our values there.
I think what this smells like is a good opportunity for arbitrage. And I'm going to be buying this Pepsi so I can flip it on that black market for $5.
yeah,
I'm like, I got a 2-liter. I know it's $1, but I'm asking for
I was just
10.
at Walmart before we met up for dinner, and there's apparently a shortage of ice trays too, because I couldn't find them in the dollar store yesterday.
Ice
And
trays.
and I couldn't find them in Walmart today either. Not kidding.
Also,
There was
shortage.
4. I bought 2.
That's
there
the
was
most
2 left.
1995 shortage I've ever heard of. is ice trays.
I swear,
Guys, we can't
I was
make
like-
ice.
I was in Walmart looking for lights and ice trays today. I'm like, this is 30. This sucks.
It was hard the last couple weeks camping to find bagged ice at times.
Yeah, I remember
We'd
Baghdad
have to go like 3 or 4
Just go outside, it's
stations
cold.
deep to get. No, but this was like
That's July.
This was like mid-October.
Last week.
And we'd have to go like 3 or 4 gas stations to find one that had ice.
Yeah, I remember the ice shortage has been real for like months.
I was talking about the Panama Canal being clogged up last week, and everybody made fun of me. But here we are talking about shortages this week. I feel vindicated.
I haven't felt a single shortage. So I drink local beer. I try to eat local. It's fun. It's working
Still a
out for me.
shortage of PS5s. I'm pretty disappointed.
This is
about
from
it.
Breckenridge. This
is a Colorado beer,
It doesn't
you
come
poser.
from China, bro. It comes across on a train.
All right. Anything else on Thanksgiving? We're going to move on to final thoughts.
the football.
Yeah, you got the big food.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite dish on Thanksgiving?
Ooh.
This is controversial.
Well, that's why I brought it up. I'm on the show. That's what I do.
It's a good question.
I like.
I mean, it's a great question. It's also controversial.
This is
That's why
controversial.
it's a great question.
The answer I'm getting ready to give is
Facebook
going
is
to
going to
cause.
be like, send this shit to the top.
It's going to tell people that I'm an idiot. I really like, and I have since I was a kid. I really like the canned cranberry jelly.
Okay, we are judging you.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I have no
think it's-
idea
you
what
were
this
right.
is.
I think
have
it's-
no idea
I-
what this is.
I've never eaten that.
My family
yeah.
doesn't do
I
weird
loved it when
shit
I was
or, like,
7,
traditional
and I would
stuff.
still, even if it was sitting there now, I would probably get a little bit and have it. But it is not the stuff, not the the stuff your grandmother spent hours making. I don't want that labor of love. I want the crap that still has that is shaped like the can.
But you're
Care.
supporting the American worker, and I appreciate that.
That's a
it's in
great
it's
spin.
in a ball aluminum can.
People
By
had
God.
to
That was a
work on
lifeline.
that. Yeah.
So I said it's embarrassing, but I also like a really good stuffing. But but my go-to immediately would be.
I've not had either one of these two things.
You've never had good stuffing?
Really good
Because it looks
stuffing?
atrocious, man. It looks like something that I didn't eat, but may have got rid of at some time for myself. So I'm like, not eating that.
I literally can't even think of like
Not the
a
oyster
really
stuffing.
great dish
That
on
shit is
Thanksgiving that I love.
disgusting. When they put the oyster juice in stuffing, that's nasty.
That's
That's
a thing
foul
somewhere.
seafood.
I've learned about this somewhere.
Yeah, I had it this
Maybe you
Thanksgiving
told
that I'm
me
going to
about
go to
that.
next
Yeah,
week.
you're the one who told me about this. Yeah.
Disgusting. But the real, and you can't tell the difference. You might accidentally get the oyster stuffing. You might get the good stuff.
You need to tell them, be like, put an oyster logo
there
on
needs
this.
to be.
A warning label.
Tell
I'm
them to
gonna
tell
be going-
Mark and commission some oyster logos. And they
Oh
can put all
no,
this stuff.
I know where that's going.
Going through
Hey,
the
I
line,
just told you I could tone
smelling
it down
if it
for
smells
you.
like fish.
Jesse, favorite.
So I don't enjoy turkey because most people overcook it. So
I was about to ask.
Turkey is the very least important thing in the Thanksgiving.
I'm a
deal.
big ham guy. I
Same.
love ham. I love ham on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yep.
And my mom, if she's
because you
in
hate
the-
pigs.
if she's in the mood,
Service pigs.
she makes noodles from scratch.
Wilbur.
And so she'll make like homemade like noodle I don't know what kind of noodles.
White noodles, yeah.
But those are pretty fire. And then you just need to mix that with some corn and stuff. It's pretty good. But that's nostalgic. That's what it's always been for me. There's nothing. Like I said, we don't do cranberry fruit cakes or anything. We've never done anything weird. Just some ham and some noodles, mashed potatoes.
I think the cranberry thing's a Northeast deal. I think that's more of a Northeast than that is Midwestern.
I
But
like
it's the memories you
cranberries.
have when you were 6 or 7.
think people
okay.
in Florida.
Well, I
like,
see
think
it.
the same.
I was gonna say I see it in like movies. I'm
Everybody
like, what the
from New
hell are
York,
they
where my family's from originally, moves to Florida, so it carries down there.
So you're from New York and Atlanta and
Sarah's
Rural
family's from
Indiana?
Atlanta. My mother is from Rapid City, South Dakota. My dad's from Messina, New York, and we're all in central Indiana.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's a nightmare. My parents got married in Oklahoma.
welcome.
We've got the country covered.
Oklahoma, do you know cabbage is illegal there?
Mark.
we have a story to tell you.
I like how Betsy's taking charge of the podcast, by the way.
I didn't mean to, but
Betsy's
No,
well
it's-
seasoned. Yeah, she's got.
She's like,
this is like my seventh
Giving
season or
her
something.
repertoire.
Mark, favorite Thanksgiving dish? Go.
favorite.
Honestly,
like,
favorite? No, like I've thought about this. I really don't.
Come to my mom's to try her hand.
You don't want to commit.
No, I really don't have like
His
one that
girlfriend
I can
Crenzy
think
would
of.
say he doesn't like to commit.
What do you get every time you
like-
go, though? Like, what do
It's
you
always
get?
the same shit. It's like turkey, ham, like mashed potatoes.
Do you like one more
stuffing.
than the others?
mashed potatoes?
All right,
mean,
that's
ham,
okay.
but like
Mashed
again,
potatoes.
back to what Jeremiah said. Like I don't really care for turkey. Like if
Turkey
it's,
sucks.
It does suck. It's always dry. I don't want to eat that.
Right.
No.
All right, we're
You got
gonna-
to douse it with like gravy, and I just don't want to eat
I've
that.
taken charge, and thank you for letting me do it. We're going to go to Zach. Zach, what's your favorite?
Two things. Childhood thing with my grandmother used to make some like sweet yeast rolls that were amazing. But now somebody makes a sweet potato casserole that's got, I think it's got like chopped up pecans in it and enough brown sugar that it should be considered a dessert.
That sounds great.
That's a fair answer.
All right. And my answer is mashed potatoes. And also my mom, and this is an old family recipe, makes homemade noodles that are to die for. And so I love those together. And I usually
Should have a noodle off.
yes. Oh,
the
well, my family's going to win.
Like a chicken in it.
And peas. And,
No.
and my mom is, for the second year in a row, is not going to make a turkey. She's going to make a chicken. And there's not a lot of us. So way better. Like a roasted chicken versus a roasted turkey.
Chicken
The chicken is
way
superior.
better,
Right,
yeah.
right, right.
You
So-
can do way more with it.
Yeah.
It's not as gamey. Like
And maybe
turkey's kind of gamey.
Maybe people will not vote for me now because I said we're gonna have chicken instead of turkey on Thanksgiving. But and I'm gonna go to like my partner's family. Like they'll have ham and turkey, and I'll eat both, and that's fine. But at the Mills household, we're gonna have a chicken, and I'm really amped.
Yeah, that's awesome.
right.
I like that
Tossing
more
it back
people
to you.
do noodles. So wait, hold up. We gotta hold up. Hold up.
I think as I'm thinking about this,
Apparently,
there
we're
are
doing this podcast.
there are regional foods that you have. So the chicken and noodles thing, or the noodles,
So there's
is
no
very much
chicken in the noodle.
Yeah, that's why I
The-
asked.
the
Like
noodles
you
is
guys
very
keep
much
talking
a
about
Hoosier-
noodles, and I'm
Hoosier
like, I'm
thing.
kind of like
Really?
dumbfounded.
In
So is that a
Atlanta,
Hoosier
I've
thing?
had collard greens.
He's from Indiana.
Thanksgiving.
But you guys are from Ohio. Part of you.
Most of my family is from Ohio, and that's where I frequent.
that's where the
Honestly,
Thanksgiving.
that recipe comes from Ohio too, Northwest Ohio.
What,
Findlay.
just noodles? Like
Like my mom's family's from Findlay, Ohio.
So
Okay.
it's not just noodles. I do believe there's broth added, right? Like
well, when you
to
keep
cook
saying
it.
noodles, like I'm thinking of like chicken and noodles, and I know that like
It's not
is
chicken
a
and noodles.
dish
It's
that comes
just noodles.
around on Thanksgiving. I'm like,
Nope.
but that's like a whole.
There's no
I feel like that's
chicken.
like a main entree versus like the turkey and like the ham that gets brought. I'm like,
Think
I'm
of it
gonna-
as
I'm
like
gonna go with
noodles in like a sauce, and you throw it on your mashed potatoes, and it's fly. It's so good.
Yeah, I put it on
noodles and mashed potatoes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Dude,
Guys,
you're
I'm not- I'm not-
you're
no,
coming to my
trust me,
house on
I'm not-
Thanksgiving.
Even better.
I'm
You're
on my
coming to my
way.
house on
Fultz
Thanksgiving.
has never done
No,
fat
I'm-
kid shit, and I can see it.
I was gonna say, all of a sudden, we know why he weighs 102
Yeah, if
pounds.
you've got some good sweet corn, just
Yes.
mix the sweet corn in there too.
Yes.
I like
Yes,
some
just
sweet
for
corn.
real.
I know
Yes.
about
Green
like some
beans.
sour sweet corn.
All of this
I'm
stuff
from
goes
Rush
together,
County.
and you just, I don't know why we don't all, everybody does it. I'm like, why don't we just all put it in a pot together, and then we don't have to mix it at a table?
Oh,
It would be
amazing.
gross.
Yeah, you
I'm
mix
not
all
really
that
telling
stuff.
Well, that's what
together.
Thanksgiving is. Like everything touches everything. It just becomes one
Thanksgiving
big,
is
Not
like 10 different
I don't know.
sides.
I want to know what you're doing if you don't have noodles. You're just eating dry ham and dry turkey. I don't really
I'm not
like
eating. I'm not eating the turkey. I
There's
just
gravy
said.
over it, man.
Yeah.
Just what kind
I'm
of
gonna
gravy?
eat. I'm gonna eat the ham versus like if there's ham available versus turkey. I am going straight for the ham, and I'm gonna like honestly like and if the ham sucks, I'm just gonna play in the sides.
Have you ever
because
had
the
ham
sides are
gravy?
always good.
Have you ever had ham gravy?
ham and gravy?
Ham gravy, like
Black
gravy from ham.
I don't think so.
It's really
oh,
good.
I really don't.
red eye gravy.
No, I mean like literally
Ham.
gravy from the ham.
Okay.
I've had it.
No.
It's good.
I don't know if I just got it from the thing that was made in.
I don't know. I just feel like
Yeah.
like Thanksgiving to me is like
was
it's
like, I didn't
nothing
know
but
this was-
sides for me.
Right,
And it's
that's-
like
yeah.
And like honestly, I'll get hungry and I'll want to go eat something else later, and not like everything I just ate.
The sleeper pick is the chocolate pecan pie.
I don't eat.
I mean, there's that
desserts,
too. Like
Yeah.
my uncle makes like a crazy like chocolate pie, but like I'm not crazy on sweets either.
I'm
hard sell
not a
for me.
sweets fan. So, but I will say you're coming to my house on Thanksgiving, and we are
Well, great, because I'm a block and a half away.
I know, and my mom's house,
Well, yeah.
and not my house.
It's just him and Loki.
No one's nowhere to sit. It's just going to be you and Loki hanging out. I might bring Loki for Thanksgiving. Who knows?
God.
But
service cat. Dead
but anyways, the noodle thing. You need to experience the noodle. The noodle thing's dope. If they're made fresh, if they're made from scratch within like a couple days, they're pretty fire.
All right, we need to move into final thoughts.
We don't have to.
Dakota has been sleeping at
We're just
home for
gonna
2
run this.
hours at this point.
And he would never put noodles in his body right now.
And he would just
He would
be
never put
stroking
noodles in a
out that
mashed
we're this far
potatoes.
into the show.
He may have bought that table for Patreon for his anniversary.
Please subscribe to the Patreon to understand what the hell we're talking about. Zach Burcham, you got final thoughts for me? Anything we need to clean up? Anything we've forgotten?
Oh, I want to clean up. This is like the longest show since like Travis Wyke was here. So,
So it feels like it's been forever.
to do a little community
missing it,
plug
though.
since
Let
we'll
me
be
know
here
you're
next week. Newcastle starts our Christmas festivities this weekend. So it's not even for next week. So the parade is on Saturday, and so to give all the hard work I bet that Carrie Barrett and all her people have been doing, their parade's going to be at 4:00. There's a festival that's going to be going from like 11 to 4, and there's even going to be like a concert. 1:00 Island Breeze, which doesn't sound festive, but sounds like it could warm us up. But
Zach, why is that thing in front of your face again?
I don't know, because I'm unhooked.
'Cause you're
I plugged
unhooked.
back in the other mic.
Listen, that's sexy.
That actually sounds
But
better.
the
All the way to
parade's
the
going to be at
final
4:00.
thoughts.
It runs from Baker Park to downtown. And check all the holiday festivities downtown. It sounds like it'll be pretty busy on Saturday. So there's that. And then if you need beef, go to L&K.
Betsy?
Wow. I'm really glad that council got out early. Sometimes we go for hours and hours. This was a short meeting, and I'm really glad that I texted you. I was driving by. I was like, oh, they're in the studio. I'll just see what's up. And I really thought I was going to crash out there and just watch because I haven't been in here in a while. But
No, we were wrapping up Patreon.
If you just
and I
want
had
to
an empty
crash and
chair.
watch, I think you can not even ask. You just walk in.
I know. But
You have open door privileges.
Thank
Just
you.
like when you're in the State House. I'm just coming in.
That's right. No, it's been a lot of fun.
She's going to have my picture up there.
I think-
They don't let this guy through.
You guys are always a blast, and I'm really excited about my campaign. Facebook /Betsy for Indiana, website up soon, betsyforindiana.com. We've been working really, really hard since maps dropped in September to lay groundwork. I didn't even know if I was going to have a spot to run for, because you don't know where you're going to be districted. I thought, they might put me in Muncie because I literally live on the county line. We are just really, really excited, and the support I've received so far from members of the community that we all know and respect, I'm just really, really honored by it. So if anybody wants any information, let me know. I'm excited. I'm motivated. I'm going to be hitting doors like crazy. I'm going to be making calls too. I'm going to earn it. So I'm going to wear out some shoes. I'm pumped.
We're glad you're in the race. It's going to be fun to follow from the beginning to the end of the process. And I got a feeling there's a good chance we're probably going to be going through November of next year to follow the whole story.
We'll see. Fingers crossed.
We're going to be Boss Hog's going to be like HBO with the Colts. We're just going to follow
Hard Knocks.
until the end.
Yeah.
We're going to be like Hard Knocks with the Colts. We're going to go until the season's over.
All right. I'm in.
Following the Betsy train.
You're always welcome.
Mark, what else do we need to know? Anything we've forgotten? Anything you want to plug?
No, other than I can toe down my arm for a specific request, other than dead chicks and just macabre art. I can do your pet.
Macabre.
So yeah, that's all I got.
All right, let's check out MerkerMark on the Etsy. Jesse Riddle, my guy.
I don't have anything. We've had a deep episode.
I've been rewatching Seinfeld.
Good.
In honor of you.
I will probably.
It's on Netflix. Have you been?
I'm not going to watch the Netflix version.
You want the commercials?
No, it's cropped. It's cropped.
What?
It's cropped.
What's cropped?
So they took the 4:3 ratio and made it 16:9, and they've been cutting out. It's so like the pothole episode. You don't even see the pothole. Like it's where he like loses his like watch or whatever it is.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So they've stretched 4:3 into 16 by 9. And so now you're losing content.
How did you watch it all the first time?
Hulu.
Okay.
And Hulu didn't do that. So it's Hannah's been getting on it and she finds it funny. I'm like, good. It's a funny show. I need to get Mark to. Mark has Netflix. You should just.
It's timeless.
You can watch it without it. If you're a purist, you don't want to watch it with it cropped. But
You're such a
I went from a Seinfeld hater to like, look, I'm not going to watch it cropped. This is garbage.
You hated Seinfeld for our entire friendship, and then 2 years ago, you're like, damn, this thing's actually funny.
Yeah.
I think you finally got to the age they are in Seinfeld. They're all 35 to 45. And once you hit that age, you're like, oh, I get it now.
Well,
I still got a few years, so I'm going to hold out.
You hold out on everything I say is good. And then you watch it and you go, this is really fucking good. I go,
when the time's right.
I know. You're like forever, like The Office. He's like, it looks boring. It looks boring.
You're like 8 years older than me, so it's fine.
This is true.
What year did you graduate or drop out from high school, Mark?
Graduated
Wow.
in 08 from Rushville.
I don't want to assume anything.
No.
2008?
2008.
So we're 7 years
Rushville.
apart. Jesse's 06, right?
04.
04? Oh, damn. You are like halfway.
So he's an entire like high school
Yeah.
generation,
Correct.
which is hilarious to me.
But yeah, no final thoughts. Just, if you're suffering with mental health, you should probably, if you don't see a therapist, consider getting one.
With that, we'll leave it there.
That's a good thing.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
That's a serious fucking thing.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving. This has been incredible. Thank
What
you
was
for
your final
Betsy.
thoughts?
I was about Seinfeld. I wanted to talk. I just wanted to see what you thought, and I knew I'd get something out of you again. I always do.
Thanks for letting me crash.
You put a quarter in, you get.
Betsy, it's been good to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
We will see you guys in 2 weeks.